All right, let's take a journey. I want you to imagine a city, just buzzing with life, thousands of years before Rome was even a village. Today, we're diving deep into the story of one of humanity's very first cracks at urban living, the ancient, incredible city of Ur. We take cities for granted, right? The crowded streets, the huge buildings, the whole shebang. But it all had to start somewhere. So where was that? Before you had the glory of Rome or the philosophy of Athens, where did people first decide, hey, let's try living together like tens of thousands of us in one spot? Well, the answer to that question is buried under the sands of modern-day Iraq. We are talking about the Sumerian city of Ur. And this is one of the earliest blueprints for what a city even is. It's where we see the first real attempts at organized religion, government, and society on a massive scale. Now, for thousands of years, Ur was basically just a ghost, a name whispered in ancient texts. Its location was completely lost, swallowed by the desert. So how on earth do you go about finding a lost city? Well, in the 19th and 20th centuries, archaeologists started poking around this huge mound of dirt and sand called Tel El Mukhayar. And what they found, it was way more than just a few old pots. They literally uncovered the foundations of a massive, powerful city-state that had been hiding from the world for millennia. And the history they pieced together was just immense. I mean, people first lived here as far back as 4000 BCE. But the city really hit its golden age around the time of its super opulent royal tombs and, of course, its most famous and most massive landmark. And yeah, you absolutely cannot talk about Ur without talking about this. Sticking out of the flat Mesopotamian plains was the one structure that completely defined the city's skyline, and really its entire identity, the Great Ziggurat. Now, this was not just some big building. To the people of Ur, this was the actual earthly home of their patron god Nana. Picture this giant stepped pyramid reaching for the sky with a holy shrine at the very top. It was built to make you feel small, to feel awe. It was literally their connection between heaven and earth. And the scale of this thing is, well, it's just hard to wrap your head around. Get this. Just for the outer layer of the first level, they used an estimated 720,000 baked bricks. Think about the organization, the labor, the sheer willpower it took to pull that off. It's absolutely mind-boggling. See, the ziggurat was so important because it was basically the city's central command. Of course, it was a home for the gods, where priests performed rituals. But it was also the economic hub, where scribes were busy tracking harvests and collecting taxes. And looming over everything, it was a giant, unmissable symbol of the king's power and the city's wealth. Okay, as incredible as the ziggurat is, the most jaw-dropping discovery at Ur was actually hidden deep underground. A discovery so rich, and honestly so disturbing, it completely flipped our understanding of this culture. We're talking about the royal tombs. When the archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley found these tombs back in the 1920s, even he could barely process what he was seeing, and his own words right here just capture that insane contradiction perfectly. On one hand, it was a treasure house. On the other, a chamber of horrors. So the treasures were just breathtaking. First up, this thing called the Standard of Ur. It's a small wooden box, but it tells us so much. One side shows you a Sumerian army marching to war, complete with chariots. But then you flip it over and you see this lavish royal party, a picture of peace and wealth. It's like their entire world in one little object. Then they found the tomb of Queen Puwabi, and she was buried wearing this, an unbelievably intricate headdress made of pure gold leaves and precious blue lapis lazuli that had to be imported from all the way in Afghanistan. This one artifact just screams wealth and long-distance trade. And maybe the most famous find of them all, the ram in a thicket. I mean, look at this thing. It's a stunning sculpture, perfectly preserved, and it just shows the incredible artistic skill these people had 4,500 years ago. But remember Woolley's Chamber of Horrors? Well, here it is. The kings and queens weren't buried alone. Nope. They were surrounded by dozens of their attendants, their guards, their musicians, all of them sacrificed, sent to serve their ruler in the afterlife. These so-called death pits revealed this incredibly brutal ritual, a really dark secret hiding underneath all that glimmering gold. So, after all that, the soaring ziggurat, the incredible treasures, and the dark secrets, what's the big takeaway? Why does this ancient city, a place that rose and fell thousands of years ago, still matter to us right now? Well, Ur's legacy is honestly everywhere. It's here that we find one of the very first written legal codes, a basis for justice. They helped perfect cuneiform, that cool wedge-shaped writing on clay tablets, which let them record everything. But maybe most importantly, Ur gave us the blueprint for the city itself, a model for society and government that billions of us are still living in today. So in the end, Ur is this amazing paradox. It shows us the absolute peak of human cooperation, art, law, incredible engineering. But it also shows us the terrifying depths of hierarchy and violence. And as we build our own massive cities today, the big question that started in Ur is still with us. How do we get all the best parts of city life without falling for its worst temptations?